Success in business, in really any business, can come with its share of ups and downs and challenges and trials and tribulations. It's oftentimes not the big, obvious, glaring issues that drag a company down and eat away at their margins or chip away at customer trust. Sometimes it's the smaller, minute things or the everyday processes. So stay tuned and watch this video because we're going to talk about 5 things that your solar company is probably not doing that you can do to mitigate these issues before they get even bigger. The first thing is properly utilizing subject matter experts. Not enough companies are really leaning into the expertise that's on their team or is available to them through partnerships. When you have a subject matter expert, you have somebody who is dedicated to knowing what the technology is and can do, and they can own it and can teach it to others. Solar's got a ton of moving parts, figuratively, not literally, but it can take a lot of hands to install systems and make sure you know what the new capabilities are. Technology changes constantly, and by having one person designated or multiple people designated to knowing exactly what the product offers, what it can do, so that way they can communicate it with your sales teams or even your install teams, can make the whole process smoother for everybody. Some manufacturers will even offer their own teams to be able to be out on site when a team is installing a product for the first time or giving them best practices. To utilize subject matter experts effectively. The second thing your company could be doing better is doing it right the first time. Look, there are a lot of aggressive goals when it comes to solar. Sales teams are trying to hit massive volume targets, and oftentimes install teams are going to be prioritized and incentivized to install more systems even faster. But you have to make sure you're doing it right, and the incentive should maybe, instead of being on speed of install, on quality of install as well. John Wooden said it the best when he said, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, you're going to have to make time to do it right again. And that could not be more true for solar, especially as you're working with people's homes and you're installing things on their roof, on the side of their house with electronic equipment. Having an incentive goal around making sure that you're achieving the speed you want, but you're more importantly achieving the quality. Passing QA/QC checks is the best thing that a company can invest in. The third thing here is kind of boring, but it's necessary. It's creating processes. Look, solar moves really fast. We just talked about that, right? You're going in 10 different directions all at one time, trying to install and sell systems as fast as possible. And a lot of solar companies are smaller shops that are putting things together, and people are wearing multiple hats. But the most important thing that any team can do across the board is create well-documented processes for their team to follow. That makes sure that your process and your step that you take in your business is repeatable time and time again, especially as you scale your business. Everything from how you file RMAs for replacement equipment, how the sales team approaches customers, how leads are done, how installs are done, the checklists after, everything needs to have a process so that teams can know the quality and make sure that it is followed every time. Strong processes don't have to be complicated. They can actually be really simple, and they're absolutely necessary. With any process, you have to define a clear owner. Who is the person that is going to be handling this? Or who is the group of people that one of them or multiple of them are going to handle an RMA or a warranty claim, anything like that? And those people have to have standardized workflows. So they know it's a workflow that's a repeatable process. It gets them through and done the proper way every single time. You also have to make sure that you have a process for managing delays. Look, we work in a business where we're fighting against the weather on a daily basis. When a project gets delayed, got to have a process for that. What happens? How do we get that project done without affecting the entire rest of the timeline, screwing up the rest of our year? And of course, you have to have a process for connecting departments. Sales and operations cannot operate in silos. It just does not work in solar. Have to come together so that they make sure the expectations are right and the customers get the project that they bought. Speaking of sales and operations, of course, the fourth thing that companies can do better is operating as one team. Look, there's often this butting of heads between sales and operations because they have very different goals. Sales team is trying to sell super fast, and the operations team is trying to install those projects and make all the promises the sales team said come true. But the strongest solar providers we find are the ones that align those two so they have the same goal of what does success look like, how do we measure success, and how do we get to where we want to go. And that may take some work from leadership too, of aligning the goals properly so that the whole team is working as one. When you have everybody working off the same scorecard, you know that you're going to achieve what you really want to in the most sustainable way. And lastly, all of my installers out there will appreciate this one. You have to listen to your field teams and get them involved in decisions. Like there's a lot of times where leadership can come up with a great idea or sales can come up with a great idea, but then it does not translate to the field. Feedback from the field teams is an absolute gold mine to find out what's working and what can be improved upon. And the best ways to do this we see are you got to institute regular feedback loops. Have everybody in the front office connect with the people who are in the field every day. How can processes improve? You also need to make sure that you do pilot programs. When you do roll something out, whether it's a new product or a new software, whatever, pilot it with a small group of people so you can work out the bugs before it goes to everybody. And have a visual follow through. So knowing that when processes are being made, it's that everybody in the organization can see where the follow through comes up to so that they see that changes are effectively made. And that's going to make people in the field feel like that their feedback is really appreciated and is shown. Look, at the end of the day, success in solar a lot of times is tied to catching some of these small issues before they snowball into really big issues. And it's that training, that feedback loop, those processes, those small things that you can do better as an organization that can help you catch those things to build resilience and make sure you're sustainable and successful for a long time. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what other tips for success do you think that other companies can be doing better, and what has your company done in order to institute better processes? Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel, check out some of our other videos about tips for solar equipment teams, and also check out our website for more information on the SI30 warranties. I'll put some links down in the video description. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next one.